Hey everyone, my name is Zach Addis. I'm a senior test engineer at Review Trackers in lovely Chicago. I'm proposing a talk for the Selenium conference this year in India. The title for my talk is How to Un-Flake Flaky Tests, a New Hires Toolkit. I should mention that the title of this talk won by a slim margin. I had many great alternative titles, like Keep the Flakiness for Your Croissant, How to Unflake Your Automated Tests. Another one, Bake the flake out of your testy test cake. Alright, joking aside, I've been in the testing space for about 5 years now. I wasn't always doing test engineering, I've also done some manual QA work, and I've been a new hire 3 times. But when starting all these jobs fresh, I've always been tasked first with fixing flaky tests, updating regression scripts, triaging fail tests, basically maintenance tasks. Is doing maintenance a good way to learn about the software under test when you've just started a new job? I suppose it is. It's a great way to learn about how the software works. But really, that's not the reason that I got into this flashy, sexy world of test engineering. The reason I chose this field was to make software better as it's developed and play a part in the software development lifecycle. I mean, that's where all the fun happens. That's where the action is. No one wants to sit on the sidelines babysitting tests. So this talk is getting your tests out of maintenance mode and getting yourself into performance mode. So in my talk, I'll first talk about the term flakiness. I'll describe its common root causes, and we'll all get on the same page about terms like false positives, false negatives, deterministic tests, etc. Then I'll talk about getting a lay of the land at your new company as a new hire. Learning things like how many test repositories are there? What style of tests are they? Are they integration tests, end-to-end tests, white box, black box, gray box? When do the tests get run? How are they run? Who's looking at the results? What actions are being taken based on those results? You'll also want to ask, how has your company been collecting results about these tests? Can these results be easily aggregated, and can we get benchmarks of the test's health from them? This is really, really important for setting goals, which is the next thing I'll cover in the talk. Like once you've gotten a lay of the land, and maybe attempted a fix or two, it's time to create a long-term strategy to tackle flakiness. You can try to set goals, like achieving a certain passing test run percentage over the course of a week, or raising the number of individual passing tests, or conversely lowering the number of flaky tests, speeding up tests to take less than 10 minutes, whatever makes sense for your organization. As long as you share these goals with other engineers and also assign a time period to reach them in, it works. Now it's time for the meat of the talk. Techniques for debugging flaky tests. We'll discuss the tools, what's in your toolbox. You got screenshots, hopefully, or if you're lucky, video playback, HTML dumps of the failed test run. You can run the test locally and step through it and understand what the test is trying to achieve. That'll help you determine if it's a problem with the test itself or the software under test. Then you can zone in. There are many different techniques for capturing HTML dumps that catch the point of change in the application. You can then use things like kdiff to diff the HTML and ensure that you're waiting on the proper changing element in your test code. If you're not waiting on the proper changing element, bad stuff will happen. All sorts of timeouts and stale element references. There are other things you can do. You can monitor the Chrome Network tab and see if an asynchronous call never went out. You can troubleshoot the selectors that your repo is using. You can try them out in the Chrome console or in the interactive debugger as you're debugging a test. And you also really should be performing critical thinking all throughout these exercises with the entire ecosystem in mind, so that you can have a better sense of where something might be a little funky, a little smelly. I'll go through many examples of flaky tests and how I employed some of these techniques to zone in on the problem. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll include some videos of Selenium driving a flaky test. And then you can guess at what you think the issue with the test or the issue with the software, because you know that's always a possibility. You can guess at what that issue is. Oh man, I love playing games. And I would love to play this game with you all in India. Here are the flaky tests.